Hey, this is Rod Santomassimo with the Massimo Show. And today I have, a friend, a former client, and an overall amazing person. And amazing producer, James Nelson, principal and head of Tri-State Investment Sales with Avison Young in, of course, Manhattan. Hi, this is Rod Santomassimo, and welcome to the Massimo Show. The objective of the Massimo Show is to share how you can maximize your personal, professional margin. That's right. Let's make more money in less time. Let's turn chaos into clarity, confusion into confidence, and income into real wealth. Along with sharing my insight on how I grew a multi-million-dollar professional business, we're going to bring you the expert advice from a variety of authors, consultants, and thought leaders who will provide the tools you need to maximize your own personal and professional margin. Welcome to the Massimo Show. James, welcome to the Massimo Show.
Thank you so much, Rod. You've been such a huge mentor to me and my team over the years. And I only have one correction to your introduction, which you said I was a former client. So I know from studying your books that there's no such thing. If anything, you might call me an inactive client. And you know that we always stay in constant touch, even if I'm not doing the monthly sessions, but still recommend it for my team members and get a ton of benefit. Definitely not former.
Well, first of all, you are the first guest ever correct me off the bat, which I love because that's what I love about us. And you're right. We don't believe in past. I didn't use the word past, so that was good. But you're right. Inactive client concepts, very important. But James, what we're going to do in the next few minutes is just share with the audience. A lot of folks, with their audience getting wider and wider, may not have heard about you. And now this audience, beyond being commercial real estate brokerage, insurance, health, medical sales, it could be any entrepreneur, web designers, right? They're looking to build their business. Before we talk about how you built your business, how you're dominating one of the most competitive markets in the world, if not the most competitive market in the world, let's talk about James Nelson. High school, James Nelson. Where were you? What were you doing? What was your passion?
So I did do the 5-year plan in high school. I was in Bethesda, Maryland, and I was in public school for 3 years, and great school, plenty of opportunity there. I was not fully taking advantage of it. I was a coaster at the time, a little bit under the radar. And it was, I guess we'll say, a mutual decision between myself and my parents. It was probably a good time to ship off the boarding schools, but this was a decision that really changed my life. And I went to St. Andrews, Middletown, Delaware. I don't know if you've ever seen Dead Poets Society. That is the campus. It's definitely not the school because it was co-ed. But it really gave me the independence, incredible values that were instilled there and set me on my way ultimately for my career. After that, I went to Colgate University and I was a swimmer. So swam in boarding school and then swam at Colgate. And that was fantastic, but also did some studying while I was up there as well.
So while you were swimming at Colgate, you had that transition from public to private. So you leave Colgate. Did you have any business interests? Did you know what you wanted to do at that time?
I actually had pretty much no idea what I wanted to do senior spring. And I know I hear a lot of these undergrads today who or even high schoolers who know exactly what they want to do. I don't even know if I knew how to spell real estate my senior year. All my friends had gotten investment banking jobs. I was thinking, well, maybe I'll go out to the West Coast and maybe I'll help write scripts for movies, or I didn't know what I wanted to do. Career service center, right? Well, I'm going to need a paying job because I didn't have any money and I can't just go out to the West Coast with nothing. And so I found a posting for Massey Knakal because one of the founders of that company, Paul Massey, went to Colgate. And as luck would have it, the deadline for the resume was that day. They didn't require a cover letter, so I had my resume in, so I put it in there. Later, I found out I was only one of 2 candidates who applied for the job. They interviewed me. I was their second choice. And so Paul ends up choosing the other candidate. And then at that point, Bob Knakal, who we both know very well, and I was a huge fan of yours as well, said, well, I think maybe I'd like a second associate as well. Can this guy Nelson fog a mirror? And I like to remind Bob and Paul that the other guy fizzled out after 6 months. And here I am 22, 23 years later.
Incredible story of opportunity and hanging in there and showing folks, yeah, you're wrong. But what was it about early on? You can relate back 22 years ago. Early on in your career, why were you more successful than others? What was it about your habits, your traits? Was it the competitiveness of the swimming or the discipline of, I would think in swimming, you're getting up awfully early, I would think. I'm not sure. but what was it that allowed you to craft that success where many fail early on?
It's a great question, and mindset and discipline certainly helped, although I give huge credit to the unique business model which Bob and Paul had created. They made it very easy for someone new to the business to come in and learn. So for starters, I spent the first year and a half sitting 5 feet from Bob Knakal. That was better than an MBA because I was just listening to him. I was just absorbing. And when it was time for me to go out on my own as a salesperson, they did 3 things that were unique to the industry. One was that we only did building sales, so really focused in on this discipline. Had a territory, so I got to know Chelsea, which in New York City, which is 50 blocks. And you would be surprised, and this is a great tip for your listeners, specialize, because there's a bunch of generalists out there who say, hey, I can sell your building, I can lease, I can finance, I can sell you insurance, I can do this and that. I think the expression is, what is it? Jack of all trades, master of none. By focusing on a very specific area and becoming knowledgeable about it, I actually had something of value to share. And so that was a big differentiator. And then lastly, we were a seller rep shop. So our value proposition is we want to represent owners. We want to get you the highest price. And so I really credit Bob and Paul for creating something that did not exist in the industry before. And that certainly made my transition into being a salesperson very smooth.
Okay, so my takeaways, regardless of what our listeners do for a living, is number 1, specialize, absolutely. Number 2, the idea of offering a differentiating value proposition. Massey Knakal had a unique model and offering to the marketplace that their competitors simply did not. And beyond that, the specialty is, I guess, when you specialize also, you become the expert. So you really were the expert for that Chelsea marketplace. Is that correct?
Right. Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So early on, you got a model that worked. You had some mentors. We hear that theme again and again and again. So what was the big opportunity for you during your last 20 years? You said, you know what, I'm really good at this, or you know what I'm doing is going to work. Was it a sale? Was it a pitch? Was it an event? Was it a personal issue? When did you know I'm on the right path?
You know, I got to say right from the start, I really lucked out and I love the business. Today, every single day, I learned something new, and you meet all kinds of interesting people. And I'm just so fortunate. And I think as much about the business, it's about the people. Even though Bob Knakal, Paul Massey, the founders of that company, and we was partners with them for 17 years. We sold it to Cushman. We had a great run. We all stayed at Cushman for 3-4 years after, left on good terms. But we've all spread out, and we stayed in touch. And we all spent a lot of time in the office, and we work hard together. So you want to be around good people who you trust and do the right thing, and also manage to have a little fun along the way. So I think very lucky to have, again, going up to that career service center, having no idea what I wanted to do, and luck out and find this incredible industry with incredible people. I'm very fortunate.
So commercial real estate especially, well, there's so many traits you need and skills to be successful. Certainly there's people skills, and there's financial skills, right? And then there's team building skills. It just goes on and on and on. But that's also true if you're building out your own insurance team or a sales team, or you're building your own firm. So did you have all these habits and skills when you jumped into Massey Knakal as a young kid? And then what skills did you innately think you had that you leveraged?
So I think, again, I had an incredible roadmap that was provided, and I just followed the directions. But my grandfather, who is a rags to riches story, started off as a car salesman. And actually before that, he was doing all types of odd jobs, but ultimately became an owner of multiple dealerships. And he said that tenacity was his number one key to success. And I think that still remains a driver. I mean, unfortunately, in this business, it is sales. You are going to see rejection. Things are going to go up, down, left, right. And you have to be an optimist. On that note, I heard a great TED Talk. And if you all haven't seen it, Barbara Corcoran talks about how rejection and failure made her that much better. And so I think along the way, learning from mistakes, learning how to continually improve things for the benefit of the client has continued to propel me throughout my career. There's a certain skill set. I know that you have an aptitude assessment where you can actually map out how people are wired. They're going to be successful in sales, and it does take a certain personality traits that's definitely part of it.
Okay. So here's what we're going to do, folks. We're going to come back with James Nelson. He's going to share with us the 5 factors to his success within 5 minutes. And I'm going to throw him some really wild questions to get to know James a little better. It's more insight how you can grow your business and how you, like James, can dominate your market regardless of what you may be offering at this current time. James, hold on. We'll be right back with the Massimo Show. Hey, this is Rod Santomassimo, and we always tell our coaching clients that knowing isn't doing. That's right. Don't kid yourself. In fact, in my new book, Don't Kid Yourself, Knowing Isn't Doing, Build the Business and Life You Desire, I lay out many of our Massimo methods that we share with our clients to help them transform their lives. My new book, Knowing Isn't Doing, is going through a soft launch that will happen in March of 2020, and then a big national launch in September 2020. For more information, check out knowingisn'tdoing.com. Hey, this is Rod Santomassimo with the Massimo Show, and we are back with James Nelson, principal and head of Tri-State Investment Sales for Avison Young, and yes, located in Manhattan. In fact, if you're watching this video, what a landscape you have behind that. Landscape, hell, it's a skyscape. What a skyscape James has behind him. James, you wake up in your office and then go to your office and look out and go, I want to sell this one or that one. What does that skyscape do for you from a motivation standpoint?
It is inspiring, especially I come in early, take the train in, and still the city's so energizing. Unfortunately, I spend a lot of the time either on the phone or looking at a screen, so I don't get to look out at the window as much as I'd like to. It is an exciting place to be.
Okay, before we get to what makes you successful, we're going to what makes you you. Ready?
Yes.
Okay, besides work and family, what's your favorite thing to do?
Wow, besides work and family, I would say traveling. I love going down to Florida, or I love skiing out on the West Coast. I love Europe. Took a family trip to Switzerland last year to ski. Zermatt, the place is magical. So yeah, would love to do more traveling whenever possible.
Favorite food?
I would say I like sushi.
Do you have a color that just represents you?
My favorite color is green. That's probably a little passive. I'm a pretty energetic person, so probably more like an orange or a red.
I love it. Now, you did mention you have 3 boys, that teenage, preteen years, so you have a hectic life, correct?
Oh, it's all hands on deck. I tell the people on my team, you think it's busy here at the office? Come to my house at like 7 or 8 o'clock at night. It's insane. On the weekends, I probably log more miles in the car than a New York City taxi driver going out to all the sporting events, but it's a lot of fun.
Okay, well, let's get to it then. I'm going to get my watch out. I'm going to have you 5 minutes. And James, I'll be honest with you, very few have ever made it in 5 minutes. Usually they're taking 6 minutes, 7 minutes. We're going to do the best we can today, though. So here we go, folks. If you know the Massimo Show, you know the drill. I'm about to hit James up with 5 questions in 5 minutes and see how he does, okay? 3, 2, 1, go. Prospecting. How do you and or your team actually ask for business?
So I'm a big fan, as I know you are, of our friend Wayne Strickland. He wrote a book called Thrive and the concept of top 125. And you were the one who originally taught me this. Who are your contacts who you're trying to prospect? So having a defined audience where I'm trying to get in front of them on a routine basis, whether it's a call at least twice a month, it's meeting with them quarterly, it's going to see their properties, seeing them at events. There's no substitution for that direct outreach.
Do you have a specific target you try to reach every week?
Number of dials would probably be about 200, but it's mostly time on the phone. And I subscribe to the time map where I've kind of mapped out how do I want to spend my 60 hours of work week. And I'm very dedicated.
Talk about your day. What time you get to work? What time you wake up? Take me through the day.
So I start very early. I'm up with a 4 handle because I go out to run the dogs and then get on the train. My commute door to door is over an hour. If I was driving it, I can never do it, but I'm on the train, and people know that they start getting emails from me at a little after 5:30 in the morning. And it takes me probably about an hour and a half to 2 hours just to clear my email, because I do not do email during the day. So people know that if they do email, I have an assistant who watches my emails. If it's something urgent that I need to jump on, she'll let me know. But like I said, 9 o'clock rolls around, I got a team meeting. Then it's getting on the phone. I want to make my lead prospecting calls. I want to check in on my clients and make sure that we're selling the product out there. Usually have several principal meetings set up where I'm finding out from owners what they're looking to invest in, listing presentations, property tours, and I'm going till about 5:30 before I either jump in a car or take the train home. And I'm usually on the phone until I pull up my driveway at about 6:30 or 7, and then I cut it off. I do not work at night, and I don't work on the weekends, because if not, I would not have a life.
So let's talk about your team. You must have a team to support all this. How big are they? Major roles, responsibilities?
So I think we've created something here which is unique to the industry, which is I have one unified sales team. So I do believe one of the fundamental flaws of brokerage is that when you do have people who compete for fees within an office, it can limit the amount of information that's shared. So we have one commission pool that is shared here. We have a sales team of 32 people. Now, 6 of those are dedicated operations. We have a director of operations, analysts, graphics, marketing, but the rest of the people on the floor are salespeople. There are different levels: associates, associate directors, directors, and senior directors. We are divided by asset class, the 4 major food groups: multifamily, retail, development, and office. But we have one commission pool. Everyone shares in every transaction to a certain extent, and then they're bonus based on what deals that they actually bring in, what they execute on, and then there's discretionary bonus as well. But like I said, we meet first thing every single morning. We go around the room, and because everyone is sharing in every commission, there's no internal competition. And so we share all information for the benefit of our clients.
Love it. Okay, let's go to number 4, platform. What tools, technology do you and or your team rely on to be as efficient as you are?
So we just migrated, and I've been on several databases over the years and was on REA for a long time, and it was pretty straightforward and simple, but it got the job done because everyone on the team knew who was talking to who and what conversations we were having and what investors were looking at and touring. We have moved to a more robust platform with Salesforce. Avison Young has 120 offices around the world. Our capital markets group, which is from 50 offices in the US, are all tapped into this same database. And just like our team shares information, I've really enjoyed being a part of Avison Young because all of our principals share information as well. So all of our principals across all of our offices share our information across Salesforce, which is hugely helpful. So clients don't have to have the same conversation with 20 different people. We're consistent. We know what they're looking for. And so that's been hugely helpful. I'm also very big into the thought leadership with social media. I've got a radio show that you all should check out, Real Estate Investing Live from New York. But once we have that content, that's syndicated through a variety of different platforms, iTunes, Spotify, but it can also be the basis for my blog, The Nelson Report. Got that electronic newsletter that goes out, the Nelson Report. It's been going for at least 15, maybe even 20 years. And it's just the repetition and the consistency.
You did it. You did it all. Because the last question was presence marketing. You nailed it. Man, you did it. 5 success factors in 5 minutes with the one and only James Nelson.
There you go. Printer in college, 50 and 100 freestyle. So I don't mess around. I get right down this.
That was my next comment. You knew James was going to hit it because I gave him a target and he hit it in the laps and he was good to go. James, I can't let you go. I asked our audience, really, what's another pressing question they would ask these top producers? And they asked us, if there were 3 factors you look back on your success, what would those 3 factors be? Certainly, for example, for me, I had a mentor. For me, I took a huge risk in starting a company. And then, of course, I am consistently always investing in myself. Right? I have 3 coaches that I work with and probably overboard. But what would you say are 3 factors for your personal success that you would share with others?
I was going to start on your last point, which is, and you were the one who taught me the importance of working on your business as opposed to in your business. And yes, when you're on that transaction treadmill and you're just going after the next deal, you get very caught up and you don't take a step back. When I knew that I wanted to do something new, build out this one unified sales team, wrote a 30-page business plan. I mean, I didn't just snap my fingers and come over here and grow a team of over 30 people. This was all very structured, very organized, took a lot of planning. And it's great to have coaching and get feedback. from others who've seen what works, what doesn't work. So definitely the coaching aspect is right up there on top. The second, and I just alluded to it, but the teamwork, there's no way that I could even do a quarter of what we do on my own. Having a team where I can spend my time really leveraging the most value. And for me, it's not doing things internally. It's being out there, doing what we're doing right now, being the face of this group, going out, originating business, having a very capable team that can execute on it. So I think that is also very key to this, is really the team dynamic and how it works. And I think the last thing is just having that right culture where the integrity, the hard work, and the clients know that I'm always putting myself in their shoes. And sometimes the advice is, you know what, don't sell. It's not the right time. And there's probably a lot of sales brokers who would not do that, but you really have to put yourself in your client's shoes and look at the long-term relationship rather than just trying to make a quick buck.
Wow. What great insight. Thank you so much, James. I know your time is so incredibly valuable. So thank you for being part of the Massimo Show today. I can't thank you enough. And I know I'm looking forward to seeing you soon on your radio show when I'm in New York next time. For now, everyone else, this is Rod Santomassimo with the Massimo Show. And as I always say, don't forget, knowing isn't doing. James shared with you a lot of things that now you know. It's not going to matter until you do it. Until next time, this is Rod Santomassimo with the Massimo Show. I want to thank you for listening to this version of the Massimo Show. And please, please go out and share this with your friends, your colleagues. Heck, share it with your dog. Just share it. And more importantly, just give me some feedback, good, bad, or indifferent. We all grow from understanding what our audience wants to hear. So until next time, this is Rod Santomassimo with the Massimo Show. Hi, this is Rod Santomassimo, president and founder of the Massimo Group. And did you know that for over the past 11 plus years, we've worked with thousands of independent contractors, solopreneurs, and small business owners just like you in repositioning their and/or their team's efforts so they can build the personal, professional practice they've always dreamed of. We provide coaching programs for all levels of experience, earnings, and yes, success. So if you're finally ready to get off that transaction treadmill and chasing deals that are growing nowhere and start building the personal, professional business and life consisting of greater wealth and more time, well, check us out at massimo.coach. That's MASSIMO.coach.